but it deals with the subject that once this has come to my attention, I felt that I had to come forward and actually talk about this situation. If you look, go click on the description. You can go to my blog and read the email that I'm talking about. I also have it in the profile picture of this video. So, when my dad was dying of prostate cancer, he was pretty close to death. He and I had a conversation where he told me he had skeletons in his closet. And of course, I assumed that he was simply speaking metaphorically. And I told him, okay, Dad, I know you have skeletons in your closet. And as weak as he was, he got up like this from his chair and looked at me and said, "You don't understand. I have skeletons in my closet." And I didn't think anything about it because my own cognitive dissonance didn't hear what he was actually telling me. So then my dad dies right after that. And my sister Kathy and I get into a conversation. She came over to my house after the funeral. And she starts telling me about this conversation where her and her friend Doris went to Dad's house. And Dad had the exact same conversation with Kathy, that he had skeletons in his closet. She thought he was speaking metaphorically, and he got all agitated and said, "You don't understand. I have skeletons in my closet." And it was at that point that I realized that my dad was not speaking metaphorically. He was fucking speaking literally. That there were parts of dead boys in a fucking closet that he rebuilt in his house. So when I went to Nebraska State Patrol cold case dude, John Pankinen, and forced him to take my DNA, I told him about this whole situation with my dad and the fact that I believed my dad put the parts of dead boys in his fucking closet. And of course, John Pankinen, not a fucking thing. Did he even check my DNA? I very much doubt it. Very fucking much doubt it. However, then I'm out in Washington, and the reason why I haven't talked about this for years is because I went out to Washington, and all of a sudden, Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, who's been fucking fighting to protect all these child traffickers and attack victims for so long, started to bait me and was demanding that I pay to have that closet ripped apart and to see if there are dead parts of kids in there, and then to pay to have it rebuilt back up. And so at the time, I just figured that Joanne had gotten them to take out the dead body parts. So I stopped talking about it because I figured, well, fuck, they're not there anymore. They took it out. However, this morning I get this email, and Joanne is talking about bad things behind the walls that I'm supposed to have put in there. We're talking about the house in Omaha on 121st and Wright Street. And Wright is Wright. This is the house that they made the garage soundproof. They had these great big things put all over the walls and the garage door and all of that to soundproof the garage. It was all under the guise of Robbie had a band. Robbie is Joanne's youngest son, 18 years younger than I am. The dude living there, his bedroom downstairs was lined with every wall with these little caskets with all these little dolls in them. That was his room. So now Joanne is saying if they find bad things, it must be David. So Joanne, let me get this right. Mom. So as an adult, because I'm an adult, I'm married, and I believe when you guys were living there, I was still taking care of my mother. So I broke into your fucking house on 121st and Wright because I'm adult. I've never lived in that house. I break into your fucking house and I rip apart an entire wall in the bedroom. And I put the remains of fucking dead boys in the fucking walls. And then I rebuild this entire wall and make it into a wall-to-wall mirrored closet. I did that, not Dad, who is a master builder. I can't build shit. So I break into your house and put the body parts of dead boys in your fucking master bedroom closet and then rebuild your closet. That's your fucking argument? That's why I say it frustrates me that no authority figure will investigate this, because this bitch is about as stupid as you can all then you can get. And if they go talk to her and her daughter Christina and her son Robbie, my dad might be dead, but all three of them were in the house when all this shit was going down. And they're dumb as fucking rocks. That's doing a disservice to rocks. They go talk to these people. Fuck, Joanne is now saying that there is shit in the walls, but I put it there. And that's acceptable. You know? Oh, God. Gio, get a fucking life, dickhead. You racist piece of child trafficking shit. You know? Well, there's no corporate fiction because there's no fucking corporations. The house is on 121st and Wright. You know? My dad murdered little boys in that house, in that garage that was soundproof. And then he put their fucking dead body parts in the goddamn walls that he completely rebuilt that wall, that master bedroom wall, and made a huge closet, a huge mirrored closet. I always thought that they got rid of it, but now that if Joanne is out there telling people, oh, I think David put bad things in the walls, now I'm not so sure those things, I'm not so sure that got taken care of. I think that shit's still in the walls at the house in Omaha on 121st and Wright. I think the shit's still in the walls. If Joanne is trying to push that shit off on me, that means the shit is still in the walls. You want to find out Jacob Wetterling's real, where he is really? I bet I would find him wrapped in little packages filled with lime. Oh, God. And dude, I'll keep talking anytime I want. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself. That's the thing about it is that I'm trying to actually get all of this shit investigated. My father and stepmother were fucking child killers. But I have a lot of people who want to defend the fucking child killers. Talk about how the fucking victims are pieces of shit that deserve what they get. I was a piece of shit that deserved what I got. I guess those fucking little boys that my dad and stepmother killed, they were fucking pieces of shit. They deserved to die and get their body parts put in fucking walls. I guess that's how it works, right? Raw pedophiles. The place needs to be investigated. It needs to be investigated. I shouldn't be the one bringing charges. Who the fuck am I? I'm not bringing any charges. Am I a law official? Do I have any fucking authority at all? You know? Any fucking authority? No, I don't. So what am I supposed to do? Make a citizen's arrest? But that's what they want to do. They want to put it all off on the fucking victims. And trust me, I was a victim in this shit. I've been trying to expose it. That's what I've been trying to do. And I think those fucking, if Joanne is saying that I'm responsible for bad things in the walls, that tells me that I think that there's still shit in the walls on that house on 121st and Right. If she's out there trying to put it off on me, that means the shit's still there. In a house I never lived in. In a house that I never lived in. But I guess I broke in and gutted the entire wall in the master bedroom and then put dead body parts in the fucking walls and then rebuilt their whole fucking garage, their whole wall. And now Joanne is, and she suspects that I put bad things in the wall. So what is she doing? Going into that Famalam chat group and talking to all of the other child traffickers who were all helping her. That's what she's doing. She didn't go to the police, but she calls the police all the time. If you thought there was shit in the walls, bitch, why didn't you have the fucking police come to the house? They could have brought a cadaver dog, but you never fucking did that. But you're on fucking Famalam, that little chat group, just fucking putting it all off on me, who didn't live in the house, didn't live with you, can't stand you, you know? Wasn't the one who paid to make the garage soundproof. Didn't live there. Didn't live in the fucking house. So if there's fucking body parts of dead boys in the fucking walls, I think you might want to look at the people who lived in that house. The people who lived in the house when my dad gutted that wall in the master bedroom and rebuilt the mirrored closet. So when he says he has skeletons in his closet, he was speaking literally. And he put the fucking dead body parts in there because he was rebuilding the goddamn closet. But I know a bunch of people who don't have a fucking clue, don't know any of the stuff that I'm talking about. Their opinion is, I think it's full of shit. That's my personal ignorant opinion. And since I have this ignorant opinion, I guess that dictates reality. Don't know who any of these people are. Don't have a fucking clue. But I know. And I'm supposed to respect that, right? I'm supposed to respect that. Or should I be listening to the fucking child traffickers that my stepmother is obviously in league with? Because she's such an upright, upstanding citizen. But they're well connected. Her daughter, Christina, her husband's family owns Nebraska Furniture Mart. That's why she's Christina Blumpkin. Lots of money involved with all of this. Lots of fucking money. Lots of money. But if anybody who was a goddamn law official who went and talked to Joanne and Christina and Robbie would figure out that there's a fucking problem here. And it goes to the people who live in the fucking house. But now that Joanne is telling people that I'm responsible for the bad things in the walls, that tells me those bad things are still in the walls. If that's what she's doing, because that's the way her brain works. You know? She's just as... Cindy's husband used to call her a plodder. Plodder, like a donkey. She's a plodder. She plods through life. You know? But again, that's how this shit started. The same story that I'm telling you right now about my dad saying that he had skeletons in his closet was exactly what I told John Pankinen when I went to go ask him to take my DNA. To compare it to the Ricky Chaddock case. Which is the reason why they murdered Owen. Because they were trying to put the abduction and murder of Ricky Chaddock on Neil Wingert, Owen's brother. Kathy was running around telling everybody that it was Owen's mother and Owen who killed Ricky Chaddock. The same Kathy who's now protecting our fucking child-killing stepmother, who My stepmother will flat out tell everybody, Kathy's a liar. She got Kathy to lie for fucking years, telling everybody she was dead. But you're not dead, Joanne. And now that I know that you're not fucking dead, I'm back. And I ain't gonna go away this time. Because now I ain't gonna believe until I see your fucking dead ass corpse in a coffin. I ain't gonna believe when someone comes and tells me you're dead. Evil doesn't die so easy. But those bad things in the closet that you're telling everybody about, that's the shit you and my dad put in that closet. Murdered boys. But I know murdered boys don't matter. Murdered kids don't matter. What matters is the fucking pedophiles, because they're the fucking interesting thing. You know? And then people wonder why I get irritated with all of this shit. You know? I'm trying to make my father's sins right because I love my father. Joanne can tell you whatever she wants. You want to know what she doesn't tell you? She doesn't tell you that deck, the front deck for the front door that's at 121st and Wright, I helped my dad build that. I was the one who helped him build it. I didn't know how to build, but I was a great helper. And so I helped him build the fucking deck. Joanne will say, oh, David's been so mean to me, so mean to me. But I spent 6 months making her a beautiful piece of artwork, a 3 foot by 3 foot reverse applique Celtic cross. Took me 6 months to make. You know what she did with it? She sold it 5 days later. Took it to her work at ConAgra. But you're right. She's just a poor little victim who gets tromped on all the time while she fucking works in league with a bunch of child traffickers. And why? Because birds of a feather fucking flock together. That's why Gabe Hoffman is hanging out with Joanne. That's the reason why Gio's hanging out with Joanne. They're all fucking together. They're all together. You know? But if you find fucking body parts of dead kids at the house at 121st and Wright, maybe you should look at the people who fucking lived there. Not me. How the fuck did I how did I rip that fucking closet out all by myself without anyone knowing about it, by the way? And then I rebuilt it. With what? With what money? And fuck, I can barely pound a nail into a fucking wall. But I'm supposed to have done all that. Not my dad, who's the master builder, who was the one who was telling everyone that he had skeletons in his closet. Oh no, they're not guilty. It's the dude that lives fucking across town who never came to visit. You know? What? Did my fucking fairy dust have magic to it? This shit needs to be looked at. This cunt is out there telling people all kinds of shit that needs to be looked at. She's out there telling people that I put bad things in the fucking walls. Investigators need to go ask her what fucking bad things is she talking about and exactly what walls. But that's too much to fucking ask for. Too much to ask for. Too much to fucking ask for. No, my sheriff in town is too busy fucking hanging up flyers with my address and my picture, calling me a pedophile and telling everyone how they need to show up at my house and show how they disapprove of me. That's what my sheriff in town, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross, and his little deputies, Chad Butler, Noah Schilling, Bill McDaniel. They don't have time to fucking search for child killers because they're trying to actually shut victims up who come from fucking child killers. They want the victims to shut up. The fucking pedophiles are just dreamy. Better than fucking peanut butter, I guess. And again, it's all on Famalam, this fucking chat room that they're using to target kids. They all need to be investigated. But my stepmother, most of all, needs to be fucking investigated. But they're too busy shutting up fucking child trafficking survivors and victims. That's what they've always done. That's what they did with Franklin. Made it all go away. And the 15-year-old who was carrying then Omaha Chief of Police Robert Wadman's baby in her stomach at 15, you do realize that for Robert Wadman to have put a baby in Alicia Owen when she was 15, he had to fuck her, right? He had to fuck a child. She was 15, that's a child. If she's pregnant with his baby, that means he had to fuck her, unless you believe it's an immaculate conception. So Robert Wadman's God now? And what did Robert Pankinen do? What did John Pankinen do? Made sure that she went to jail for perjury. She stands as the fucking one who has spent the most time in solitary. You know? That's right. That's what he does. Because victims of this shit, they want to silence so that they can protect and defend the fucking pedophiles. And my dad was a pedophile. Karen Namey was fucking 14 when he was fucking her. My dad was a pedophile. Joanne is a pedophile. She's one of my main fucking abusers. Raped me as a kid over and over and over. So when I say that I had a fucking problem with her, yeah, I had a problem with a rapist who was fucking beating me every day. Imagine that. But she's the victim. But what are the bad things in the walls that she's talking about? And where are these walls? And what bad things is she talking about? Anybody care? Anyone? Anyone? All I hear is an echo. All I hear is a fucking echo. I just wanted to deal with this today. I just wanted to fucking deal with it. I was going to do it this morning, but I had shit to do, and then I went and saw a friend, and we hung out for an hour and a half, couple hours. He hates pedophiles as much as I do. Just caught the fucking sheriff protecting a fucking pedophile who's connected to a retired sheriff that was a Shelby County Iowa sheriff in an alleyway with fucking minor girls and beer. He almost got the shit kicked out of him because my friend hates pedophiles. Victim himself. It's funny how when you're a victim of this shit, how you don't appreciate it. And I don't appreciate it. But again, is my stepmother, Joanne C. Shurter, or Joanne A. Shurter, depending on when she's calling the police. I don't know why the change of the middle initial matters. But she's saying that I left bad things in the fucking walls. What bad things is she talking about, and what walls, and why isn't this being investigated? I mean, if she's telling people out there that I'm a fucking child killer and I put the parts of dead boys in their fucking walls, don't you think that should be investigated? Or killing children, that's not a fucking crime anymore? Cutting their bodies up and putting their fucking body parts in the wall, that ain't a crime anymore? God, I don't even know the world that we exist in anymore. You know? But if she's telling people that I left fucking bad things in the walls, what bad things and what walls? Because I'm telling you, my dad told me he put fucking he has skeletons in his closet. The skeletons, the closet that he completely rebuilt in the same house that they had the fucking soundproof garage in. So if you pull into the garage and you shut the garage door and you pull out a kid who's screaming, no one's going to hear him because he's in a soundproof garage. But I guess that's legal. Or maybe it's because it's entertaining and that's why it's okay, because it's entertaining. Murdered boys are entertaining. Is that it? But she's out there telling people that I fucking put bad things in the walls. What bad things and what walls? Because I'd be willing to bet that she's going to bring up 121st and Wright Street in Omaha, the house I never lived in. The house that they had the soundproof garage in, the one that my dad said he had skeletons in the closet, his closet, the very closet he built, rebuilt that closet. I bet. I bet it's one and the same. And so it's me who never lived in the house, but the people who lived in the house are just little victims and they didn't know nothing about it. And yet she's on fucking chat rooms with other child killers fucking talking about it. All I've ever wanted this shit is to be investigated. This is on YouTube Live. If you have any fucking questions, Joanne, about what the fuck I'm saying, you can replay this as many motherfucking times as you want. It's not like I'm hiding in the secret, talking shit in the shadows. Here the fuck I am, and have been. And now that I know that your dumbass isn't dead, I'm gonna make sure that you don't escape justice. Unless, of course, murdered boys' body parts in fucking walls is acceptable and legal. I am doing shit. Here I am, dumbass. Here I am. You know? So, with that said, if Joanne's out there telling people that I left bad things in their walls, I think police need to go ask her what bad things. And what walls? What's she talking about? And then it needs to be go investigated. Because if someone fucking left body parts of dead boys in the fucking wall, I think that's a crime. I think it's a crime. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I have been for fucking years trying to get this fucking investigated. To me, to the police, it seems like it's all acceptable and it's all okay. But she's running around now telling people that I love bad things in the walls. So I think these walls need to be looked at. And what fucking walls am I talking about, Joanne? The fucking master bedroom closet that is in the house on 121st and Wright Street in Omaha. In those walls. Those are the walls I'm talking about. And the bad things that are in the walls are dead boys' body parts wrapped in packages of lime, I would be willing to bet. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. So what bad things are you talking about, Joanne? And what walls? Inquiring minds would love to fucking know.